and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today I'm here with a good friend of mine, and that is Al in Japan. How are you doing, Al?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Konnichiwa.
Okay.
Yep.
And Al and I, of course, are not in the same place, but we're not too far away. And we are
Nope.
experiencing a kind of cold spell here. It's been close to zero during the evening hours and even below zero with wind chill. So, and where I live, it snowed today. So we
Ah,
getting some cold weather. It's expected to stay for about another week or so, according to what I see. But today we're going to go to a colder place, England, and maybe a warmer place, California. And we're going to take a look at
yes.
a beer from what brewery is it, Alan?
Oh, goodness. It is from Thornbridge.
Thornbridge.
You're
Thornbridge
revisiting.
in the UK. And the beer is called California Sun. And I know something about California Sun, having lived there for quite a while. But now let's take a look at the brewery, which is called Thornbridge. And Thornbridge is located in Derbyshire in the center of England, or the center of the UK. And they were founded in actually 2004. There was a merger between two breweries, one called Thornbridge Hall and the other Kellam Island Brewery. And they produced their
Hmm.
first beer in 2005, as it says on the label here. They opened up a second plant in 2009 and changed the name simply to Thornbridge. And they've had three expansions since then, so they've gotten quite big. I have had a number of beers with them from them, and I've rated them all 3.5 or more. How about you, Al?
Oh, yeah. I really found them quite exciting when they first came out. I can't remember when they first came to Japan, but 2000, I don't know, 8-ish, 9-ish, 10-ish.
Something like that,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, the Jaipur was an eye opener. Their flagship beer,
Right.
really impressive. Boy, yeah, interesting stuff. And
Uh,
apparently they're the first, well, they say that they're one of the first to mix English malts with American hops, at least in
oh,
the
okay.
English scene,
Okay.
which is probably true. I
Well,
mean, yeah,
certainly the Jaipur has Maris Otter, which is a classic British malt, and it
yep,
includes things like Chinook and Centennial, Simcoe, which are definitely U.S. hops for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, Jaipur is quite a beer, definitely. Mhm. Okay, and Rate Beer listed 620 beers from them, which seems kind of excessive, but that's what it is.
Wow.
Untapped
Yeah.
around 500 beers. So, and they export to 35 countries around the world, including Japan. I'm not sure what other countries they do.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them in the U.S.?
Um, I think I might have at specialty shops, but they're certainly pretty available in Japan. That's a good question. What's their distribution system? Who do they know, right?
Yeah,
Somehow
yeah.
they get very good distribution.
Well, I suppose I could find it on here. The Japanese, okay, English. I'm not seeing it exactly. Yeah, I can't see who okay, someplace in Tokyo. Oh, Whisk-e,
Whiskey.
which
Yeah,
imports a
actually,
number.
that's yeah, that's interesting. I think connected? I can't remember. They're connected maybe with oh, I have to one of the liquor shops, I think. They
Yeah,
have a strong connection. I'm not sure if it's Liquor Mountain or not. It may not be
I
Liquor
don't
Mountain,
know, but I know that
but yeah,
we've had some British beers from them before, definitely.
yes.
I think
Yeah.
Orkney, maybe Skull Splitter or something like that. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they have very good whiskeys as well. I mean, they import,
yeah,
they're
of course, their
really
name is
on the
Whiskey.
ball.
Yeah.
They
Uh-huh.
know the English, they know the British scene here. So,
All right. So we get to this one here now, which is called
yeah, what the
California
heck?
Sun, and it is West Coast Session IPA, and it is only 4.5% alcohol, which is, I guess, anything below 5 could probably be considered session. And very briefly, let's talk about the malt here, or the malt and the hops. It contains barley malt and a touch of wheat as well. And then it has all the great C hops, which include Chinook, Centennial, Cascade, and Columbus. And so, very West Coasty indeed. West Coast IPAs kind of went out of fashion for a while, I think, when hazies kind of took over. And I think they're making kind of a comeback now. People are kind of missing that the West Coast hoppiness. So
they do mention, it's interesting because, of course, this is meant for, they mentioned this is perfect for a hot summer's day with the barbecue. Well, we're doing this the time of year, I guess.
It says smoked beef brisket on my can here.
That's right. Yeah, they recommend. Okay. If you're, but they mentioned their notes say grapefruit and pine for aroma, and then flavors pineapple and light bitterness. So that does sound that area of the classic West Coast IPAs.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. Have to get those.
Yeah. I don't know the international bitter units on it, but I would expect something maybe around the range of maybe 40 to 60. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Ellen, you were going to talk about the temperature.
Yeah, I noticed on the Thornbridge website that they mention, in fact, this is true for, I think, most of their beers, is they mention the serving temperature to be between 5 and 8 centigrade. That's about 41 to 46.5 Fahrenheit. So definitely warmer than a lager. I don't know. I was going to look up what's the average, English or British temperature, room temperature. The idea being that it used to be pretty cold because they didn't have central heating, right? And so room temperature, serving a beer at room temperature made sense in a very, in cold rooms. But I made a point. I know you grabbed yours from the fridge, and I had mine outside in a cold room that's not fridge temperature. So my thought was that what's interesting in Japan, and I think anywhere you go, is sometimes they'll serve beers at more like lager ales. They'll serve at lager temperatures. And I think for the restaurant, especially in Japan, beers are expected to be cold.
Right.
And you're more likely to disappoint a Japanese customer if it's not really cold, rather than a geek beer freak like perhaps you and I, where the only thing about that is if you're drinking mass-produced Asahi Super Dry or something awful like that, if it's cold, it's at its best. Right. That's when you want to drink that. Don't let it warm up or you will pay the price. You will know what it really tastes like. You don't want that.
Right.
But no, the thing about well-made beers that I've noticed over the years, and it's true with wines and other alcohols as well, is if the temperature rises, at least up to a point, it's often more and more flavorful. The alcohol contains a lot of the flavonoids. And so it actually can get better as it warms in the glass. And kind of get that going there.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. Certainly, if you go to a Japanese izakaya anytime when it's not winter, you might get a frosted mug or glass, right? That has ice and it's come out of the freezer. So that's the way to drink muggers for many people.
And so when you get to like big beers like imperial stouts and double, triple IPAs and all of this sort of thing, they may be served at very cold temperatures where they can sit in the glass for half an hour and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, or better.
Or probably better. Yes.
All right. Well, let's get to this one here. Again, it's called Thornbridge California Sun West Coast Session IPA. Let's crack them open.
Here we go. We'll think of summertime. let's think of summertime and warm weather and barbecues and
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
Well, so we may
Oh
be
boy,
getting something different out of this than because it's
wow,
different. Okay, let's take a
that's
look
air.
at what it looks like here under the
Yeah.
lake.
Okay.
Okay, it is pretty typical medium gold with a I've got a like a nice fluffy finger of foam, off-white foam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, really lots of aroma here.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Okay.
As soon as you pop the top, I mean, the aroma was just jumped out of the can.
Yeah, these are pretty aromatic hops. Centennial is an interesting one. It works very well in IPAs. Cascade, of course, is the classic one for West Coast IPA. And if you're in Japan, if you know Yona Yona Pale Ale is made with Cascade as well.
That's Cascade. That was their one of the early craft beers in Japan.
Right.
Yeah,
Not sure if it's Japanese Cascade or West Coast.
Wow. Yeah, this is
Okay,
big pineapple here.
Pineapple, definitely. Pine. Lightly dank.
Yeah, a little resin.
Yeah, pleasant.
Other tropical fruits in there.
Bit of tropical fruit, certainly, yeah. Primarily pineapple is what I'm getting out of the aroma for that. Okay, flavor, should we give it a go?
Yep, why not? I cheated a little bit.
All right, cheers.
Uh-oh.
Okay, okay. Yeah. I don't know if so many products, the ingredients label lists the ingredients in the order of amount of ingredients, right? So the first ingredient is the largest amount. So in this case, the first hop listed is Chinook, and I wonder if I mean that's what I think I'm getting is a Chinook kind of big bitterness.
That's a good point because it's not in alphabetical order, Chinook, Centennial, Cascade, Columbus.
Right,
so
right.
That's probably, I would think with British labeling law, it's probably in order of at least quantity.
So Chinook has it's definitely a high alpha hop, and if you see them, they're long and fat, kind of things. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it's really nicely balanced. It's got the pineapple, but it's not a big fat pineapple. But the bitterness kicks in with the fruit at the same time. They're just kind of like balanced from start to finish. Very good session, right?
Absolutely. It's not overdone at all in any respect. It's not as bitter as I thought it might be, but it definitely has some bitterness.
It has a light lingering bitterness, stays there. It is, I think the aroma for me promises a big, rich IPA. And it really, it does, the aroma is really out there, really big. And by its very nature, it's a session IPA. So the body's a bit thinner, light. And I have to admit, my first reaction is I was going, I want a little more, but it was winter time and we're drinking at the wrong time of year. So
right, it's not an imperial IPA; it's a session IPA, sure.
Right,
but it's not as much going on in it as
but it's got the aroma. Yeah, it's got the aroma of something much bigger. It could be. So
they
really deliver on the aroma here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty nice overall. Yeah.
Very drinkable. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were rating this, I would probably give it around a 3.5, maybe 3.6, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, as a summer beer, yeah, perfect. Yeah, just about perfect. You could have a couple of these.
Mhm.
I think it's what, yeah, the lower alcohol, of course, would make it possible. You could have a
Sure.
couple pints of this without any
Yeah.
trouble, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
it
give
has
the,
it succeeds.
give a little information. So Session IPA is returning by popular demand, this time in bigger
Huh.
cans. Expect all the flavor
Ah,
of the famous style. Huge notes of grapefruit greet you on the nose, with pine and melon on the palate. There's a fantastic
hmm.
floral undertone with stone fruit and lemon, all balanced by a light malt backbone. Very good. Okay, so yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree with most of that. I guess a light malt backbone for sure.
yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose the floral, you're talking about citrus kind of floral,
Mm-hmm.
fruit.
Yeah, I didn't get the melon that
Yeah,
you're
sure.
mentioning.
Blossoms. Yeah.
Yeah, pineapple for sure. Well, okay. So
Yeah.
what would
Yeah.
you give this now?
Yeah. It's kind of hard. I think my mood, if I'm in the right mood, I might even give it up to a 3.7 in terms of, as having, it delivers a lot on the aroma,
It does. It
which I
does.
really like. And I think in the summertime, if you're in for the session, that's kind of what you're aiming for. You're doing it
Yeah,
outside. You got a couple hours to eat and drink and enjoy yourselves. This could really hit the spot.
really good. Yeah.
In wintertime, I want something a little bigger, I think would be what I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah. So, well, I'm not sure when they brought this back. See the
this particular,
fine print here.
we bought this at the same place. So let's see if we find,
Yeah, I'm not sure when
see if
they said they back by
it
popular
says on the
demand.
bottom.
This was made in June of 2024, and the Best
Okay, yeah,
By
it's good.
is June of
Uh,
this year, so about 4 months
yeah,
off.
so they've interesting. That's a pretty big window, a whole year for a
A
lighter
year, yeah.
style.
Hmm.
They must have figured out how to do that. I know other breweries that we talk about, Kyoto Brewing Company is working on, that extended life
In
of
cans, yes.
can.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure of the process, but something to do with maybe centrifuging,
Hmm.
possibly. Not exactly sure. You're taking certain things maybe removed from the beer. I'm not quite sure,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah, Kyoto Brewing has made that a point of their 2.0, their new
yeah, the new
what they're
style.
planning to do in the future. Yeah, canning
Mm,
extended life in cans. Yeah,
yeah,
I should
which
also
is
mention this is a 440 milliliter can, which I'm not sure if it's a standard tall boy size in the UK, but in Japan we're more accustomed to 500 milliliters for a,
yeah, 500 or 330. So it's kind of a unusual size.
yeah for a
It's interesting. It must be make real economic sense that you're selling a larger amount for a little bit, for a certain, for a higher price. And maybe per unit, it's just a more efficient way to do it. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming
Do
that
you
that's
remember the
part of
price
the,
for this, Alan?
oh gosh, was it in 600 yen?
Six,
Six to
700
seven?
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
six to
I don't
seven
remember.
hundred
Okay,
yen. So maybe about $4 or $5 or something like
something like
that
that. Yeah.
in the US. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we can both agree this is a very, very well made, very drinkable session IPA, and I think we can both recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you'll
Definitely
find this
get
in
yourself.
larger liquor stores in Japan and beer shops probably. Uh, we found this in a department store liquor section, and that's an also
Yeah.
a good place to find imports as well. Okay. So once
Yeah,
again, this
department
is
stores are carrying some good stuff. Yeah.
yes, they are absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up now, and once again, this is called Thornbridge California Sun West Coast Session IPA, 4.5%, and I think Alan and I both agree this is a beer worth checking out. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Get yourself some.
Thank you, Al. And that is it for today. Okay, please do take care, stay healthy. And both Al and I would like to hear from you. Leave us a comment and do subscribe to the channel. Okay, take care.
Yeah.
See you
Kanpai.
next time. Bye-bye.